Since 1994, the Arts Commission has used Young Artists at Work, or YAAW, to offer unique summer apprenticeships to young, aspiring artists around Toledo, Ohio. Teaching diversity, creativity, and job skills, YAAW apprentices get hands-on experience making public murals, saleable artwork, and pretty much anything awesome that you'd want to learn as a young artist. Overall, YAAW encourages teens to use their art to be active in their communities. Issues that we're all concerned about take on a different meaning when you're an artist. YAAW Talk is a podcast about them. You just can't beat the arts in Toledo, it's the topic happening around the clock. YAAW Talk. Hello, welcome to YAAW Talk, the podcast about topics that mean the most to young artists. Episode 2 covers the ongoing global push against injustice in light of the year's social protests. Police accountability, discrimination, and public outcries have elicited questions about the future of equality. At the same time, however, it can represent a call to action for young artists. Let's hear what they have to say.
With the Black Lives Matter movement, has your art changed since this current movement at all?
It hasn't changed yet, but we had guest speakers who were talking about how you can portray what's happening in the world today through your art. And I really took that in, and I feel like that was a really good idea, and that I will start to do that.
I honestly can't say it hasn't changed much. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, before this pandemic, I thought I enjoyed art. I thought it was a great way to express things, emotions, times, like whatever is happening, how you're feeling. If anything, the only thing that's really changed is, like, it's further proven to me, this pandemic, that art is important and that it is a way of showing and influencing people in strange or normal times.
I mean, I think kind of because this job and quarantine have overlapped, like, my views on art have changed a lot, just because we've had so many different speakers that, like, I've heard a lot of perspectives. The documentary maker who came, like, that was kind of a cynical perspective about art.
Do you feel as if right now, as teens in this area, in this climate, in this time, that we have to kind of do more to bring about change?
Yes, I do, honestly, which is what I've wanted to do since I even started school. I wanted to become a lawyer to help Black people fight the judicial system, and it's kind of hard to beat the system if you're not in the system. That's how I thought about it. So because I've seen so many times Black children or Black kids or Black teenagers getting sent to jail for little reasons, getting life when there's white people getting off charges, and it's unfair, basically. So I felt like, well, if I was in the system, I could help. But if I'm not outside the system, I really can't help. But you can always help. It's just that's the way I thought about helping. I feel like it would be a cool idea to be a lawyer. So I just wrap all that in together. But yes, I feel like I do have a duty to help who's in need of help.
Yes, it begins with us, and we are the next generation. And I feel like a lot of us are making a lot of change, a lot of effort to bring a lot of light to a lot of issues and a lot of conflict in our community and the world right now.
Honestly, I rarely do, like, current event stuff. Like, it's mainly, like, whatever's going on in my head I draw in and stuff. But I could never, like, fully understand, like, the core issue being me in my position in life. I do feel that I can, and I am trying to express as much emotion as I can.
I always experimented with different races in my art. But for the first time, I genuinely started incorporating words and just powerful quotes from long ago activists.
I definitely can agree with that. You know, even being a Black artist myself, sometimes in the media and representation, that I felt as if I couldn't portray other Black characters because I felt like people wouldn't care to see that. But I think now that's definitely changing, and we want to see more representation and more diversity in our art. Since race is such a big topic right now, have you ever had to think about your own race prior to this movement?
Yeah, I definitely gave a lot of thought to my own race, considering my race is the one that's being oppressed at the moment. But I feel like not only I had to think about my race, I feel like everyone had to think about their race, even if it wasn't just the white and the Black people, but other races thinking, well, what can I do to help who's in need of help? Even if you're not the one being oppressed, or if you're not the oppression, I feel like everyone questioned their race, and not even their race, but like as an individual and how they felt about what was going on in the world today?
Yeah, I have. Like, as well, like, I have, mixed and colored friends as well. I am, Mexican, and at times, like, I would go to local places and you look differently and ask questions, and it's quite awkward and uncomfortable, but at the same time, like, I just think it's really weird, as I feel like we're all the same inside, but a lot of people don't think that.
Us, I feel like from a very young age, we've had to learn and we had to been taught that there's certain ways that we have to act. And, it's really disappointing that we have to go through this. It can be very scary at times, but I completely agree. Yes, it's very sad. Do you feel as if now as a teen in this time that we have to do more to make a change?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially to prove, personally, to prove that like age doesn't matter. You can literally do anything you want if you put your heart, soul, and mind into it. And I wish like millennials would recognize that, because I know that a lot of young adults that are like barely Gen Z, they often tell me like, oh, as a teenager, you have so much power, but a lot of millennials, including my parents, are like, oh, you have to wait until you're like at least graduated from college to do something.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think this time is so different, especially with social media and the influence that social media can have. I think that other generations don't quite realize how impactful it can be, and how, because I think they've grown up, living a certain way and taught to live a certain way and how to act a certain way. But that way isn't, good enough anymore. We have to do things extra to bring about change. Do you think change will ever happen?
Yeah, I am hopeful and definitely believe that things will change. I just feel like it's gonna take a really long time, and it's not gonna come as soon as we all want it to, because I don't know if you have TikTok, but basically there's so many videos of Karens, and it's like, I know it's a meme and everything, but it's sad that there are actually people that genuinely believe that, like, if a black man approaches them, they're getting attacked or abused. Like, what? I feel like we have improved a lot, but not as much as we should have. And it's upsetting, I guess, because we shouldn't be having to improve on this when we found America. The point of America was freedom and having rights, but it's fine. I'm still hopeful that things will change.
I think it will eventually change. Hopefully, and eventually, I think it will change, and I hope the old ways people who think about who owns this, who owns that, will change as well, about what color and what isn't being owned by color and what's not being owned by not colored people. So I think, yes, it will eventually change, but I think it will happen in a slow time.
Well, I like this question. I feel like change will happen, but it's not racism. I feel like racism is never going to end. I feel like hatred is never going to end, because even if they make it a law, whatever, people break the law all the time. Even if it's just speeding or littering, people break the law all the time, and people are always going to have hatred in their hearts. The world is not perfect. It will never be perfect. People, even if the majority stops the racism and stops the oppression, there is always going to be the minority of people who will have hatred in their heart, who will look at people different because of the color of their skin or the community they're in. So I feel like change definitely will happen, just like change happened from slavery times or from segregation. Like, change will happen, but will it be perfect? I feel like it will never be perfect. No.
During episode 2, young artists share their experiences and viewpoint with respect to the Black Lives Matter movement. In these hectic and trying times, it's more important than ever for youth to have an outlet for expression. YAAW Talk was created so that valuable and informative perspectives from young artists have a platform to be heard. Thanks for tuning in.